Hi FlossTube, long time no see. This is Kat and you're at Cross Stitch Chaos. Today is December 30th, 2019 and I'm going to be doing a year-end wrap-up, WIP parade, finish parade, all the above. So I'm filming with a little bit of a different setup today. So I don't know how the colors are going to work. I've managed to lose my video camera. It's been so long since I've done a FlossTube. So I'm actually filming on my phone. I did get a new phone a couple weeks ago. It's a Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and I'm using the live video feature on the front camera, and the colors are shifting a lot, and I think it's because it can't decide whether the wall behind me is white or yellow. It's cream. So the colors might be weird. It's an overcast day here in Ohio. It's been really windy. We're coming off of a warm spell actually. So it's actually starting to feel like winter again. It's supposed to snow tonight. But in the meantime, it's crazy windy. So if you hear crazy noises in the background, it's probably the wind knocking stuff over in my backyard or in my neighbor's yard, or the cats, because we have cats. For those who haven't watched any of my previous videos, we have 3 kittens, 2 adult cats. The kittens are now a little over a year old. They still have the kitten energy. They still act like kittens. They are just big now. Loki actually outweighs all of the other cats. He's one of the kittens and he weighs more than normal. So anyway, couple of quick life updates. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you would have already heard about this, but my grandmother passed away at 89 years old on September 22nd. My grandma is who taught me how to stitch. She's passed a lot of projects to me. I actually have several pieces of her WIPs from when she stopped stitching. She stopped stitching about 5 years ago because her eyesight got too bad. So she went to needlepoint only because she could see the 18 count canvas needlepoint, but she could not see to stitch on fabric. So she passed a lot of her cross stitch WIPs on to me. I have finished 2 of them. One of them I actually just finished a couple days ago. Here comes Candy. She's going to knock my phone over. It is very precariously balanced. So I'm going to try to block the cat here. One of them I recently finished. One of them I actually showed a couple videos ago was the Oriental rug, dollhouse rug, that I finished several years ago, and I finally got FFO'd. But she had started that. Do not knock my camera off. It's like I have my tripod that I normally have my camera on, and I have my phone is like balanced against it, so it's if you so much as touch it, it's gonna fall. So if it does fall, I will just stop the video, re-edit. I'm trying a new editing program. I've always used Adobe Premiere, but Adobe Premiere is very expensive and I'm tired of paying for it every month for as little as I use it. So I'm going to be trying out some new free video editors. We'll see how they go. All right, so as I was saying, when my grandma passed away, I didn't take it well. We're very close. We're very, very close. She raised me. So it was like losing my mom all over again. I did lose my mom in 2017. So I've lost my mom and my grandma in very close proximity to each other. And she left me all of her needlepoint, all of her thread, all of her canvases. I have about 8 or 9 boxes full of petite treasure braid. I have an entire cabinet full of silks, silks and hand dyeds and all this other stuff that she had. I haven't even started to look through it. I haven't had the energy. All of her stuff from her apartment is sitting in the front entry of my house, and I just don't know what to do with it, and I'm not in a mental place to really do much with it. Candy's tail jiggled my camera. I'm going to try to adjust it. There we go. As always, Candy is involved in my video. So she's all over me. She has been ignoring me. She's been in her perch in the window for the last 3 hours. I start a video and here she is every time. Every time. She doesn't even do this when I'm on virtual stitchers. Oh, look at this. She's okay, fine. This is what you want. This is what you want. I'll hold you like a baby. I started to put her down and she was like grabbing onto me. Like, no, Mom, no, I can't. So fine. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't understand. Okay, you're going what? Goodbye. Anyway, trail. completely lost. Cat. We're talking about my grandma. Oh, I was just gonna do a couple more life updates. I am still working at Kings Island. I changed crews several times this year because there was a lot of drama happening. I've had way too much drama this summer. I removed myself from a lot of situations because of drama. One of them was my work crew. I changed crews. Don't know where I'm going to be next year. Next year's a new start. Tomorrow is our last day of the season. It will be my last day of the year, finishing out my second season. Don't know how much I'm going to work next year, but I am planning on going back next year. I did get a new job, which is really exciting because for anyone who remembers, in addition to working at Kings Island, I worked at Coney Island, which is the other amusement park in Cincinnati. They very suddenly announced in September that they would be removing the rides. Hard to work in ride operations if there's no rides. So that was the end of my job there. September 29th, 28th, something like that was the last day. It was the end of September was the last day for the Coney Rides department. I did work the last day. It was hard. There was a lot of tears. There was a lot of hugs. Somebody got a recording of the last radio call. Our longtime manager, the one that's been there for 19 years, did the final radio call, and it was really hard for him. It's not how I wanted to end my career at Coney. This was going to be my last season, but I didn't want it to be over like that. I wanted the parks to still be there. And so they are just a water park now. They removed all of their rides. Most of them have already been sold and already been sent off to their new homes. So it's been a rough year. It's been a very rough year. It was a really hard way to end the season with Coney going away. But I did get a new job because I can't live off of Kings Island year round. We are weekends only for all but 3 months of the year. So I got a job at a hotel. It's a really pretty hotel in downtown Yellow Springs, Ohio. Yellow Springs is a very small artsy community. There is nothing in it except for gas stations that are owned by chains. Everything is locally owned. Everything is independent. The hotel is locally and independently owned. I've met the owners many times. They're constantly in and out. But I work third shift there. I work the overnight shift, which is perfect for me. I'm very much a night owl, naturally nocturnal. And the best thing is because it is such a small hotel, it's only 28 rooms, because it's a small hotel, I don't usually see many people overnight, and I can do whatever I want as long as I get my work done. It takes me about 2 hours to get everything done that I need to every night, and then I have 6 hours to do whatever I want, which means I can stitch. I stitch at work almost every night. It's amazing. It's a huge difference from over the summer when I'm super busy with Kings Island and I'd never get any stitching time. So that's what I mean by I don't know how much I'm going to work at Kings Island next year. I'm about to sneeze. I'm sorry. Sorry, I had to sneeze so I cut the video there. So I don't know how much I'm going to be working at Kings Island because I am working 4 nights a week at the hotel, 5 nights a week sometimes. It is considered full-time, 32 hours a week, sometimes 40, sometimes overtime, because I can cover second shifts or I can cover other third shifts. So it's, I actually have a set schedule for the first time in my entire life. I've never had a set schedule before. So that will make it a little bit easier to record FlossTube videos because I know that I can record them Monday and Tuesday mornings. So that's going to be my goal, is Monday or Tuesday mornings. I'm going to try to get to a monthly schedule. Probably will fall apart during Kings Island season. We'll see. For the new year, I don't make resolutions normally because people don't stick to resolutions, but I did make a resolution last year and I actually did succeed with it. My resolution I made last year was to not be late everywhere. I'm habitually late. I always joke that my life runs 10 minutes behind. And so my goal last year was to stop being late. I didn't like having that reputation at Kings Island. I didn't like having that reputation, everywhere I go. So my goal for 2019 was to be better about being on time. And I have done very well with that, to the point where I have not been late to work at the hotel at all. I'm still late to Kings Island on occasion, but that's because I have poor planning skills and I I know exactly to the minute how long it takes to drive to Kings Island, and that is my downfall. I was never late when I worked at Universal because I had no idea how long it took to drive there. Because I'm really bad at adding in how much it times to take for me to walk in from my car. So I was like, okay, I need this much time. But with Kings Island, I got really good at over rounding and being like, okay, I need this much time and I have to leave by this time. Gotta like, at the hotel, I'm like, I have to leave at 10:25. Well, it doesn't take 35 minutes to drive there. But if I aim to leave at 10:25, I leave when I actually need to and I get there on time. So I started doing it with the Kings Island too. I'm like, okay, I have to leave an hour and a half beforehand. In reality, I end up leaving like an hour and 10 minutes beforehand, but that's enough to get me there on time. Because it's a 45-ish minute drive. It's like 47 minutes to get there. And my downfall was I always gave myself an hour. Well, that 47 minutes plus 13 minutes to park my car, find a car parking spot, park my car, walk in, get through security, get to my ride. It's not enough time. I was always late. I was usually like three to 5 minutes late every day. And so I've stopped being late, which is fantastic. I'm very proud of myself. So this year's resolution, it's a weird one, is to work on my cleanliness. I am not a neat person, as you can tell by my piles of crap back here. I'm not a neat person. I'm not a naturally neat person. So my goal this year is to work on being neater. I'm never going to be a neat person. My house is never going to be showroom ready. I'm never going to like feature in a magazine. It's not going to be, that's not me. But I want to do better about keeping things clean, keeping things neat to the point where like if somebody brings something over to my house, I'm not embarrassed to have them walk in my front door, because that's too reminiscent of when I was a kid where nobody was allowed to come in my house because it was so messy, because I come from a family of messy people. So my goal is to be a little bit neater so that I don't have to be embarrassed to have people in my house, and I don't have to spend an entire week. Like I think it took me 5 days to clean my house to get ready for a house party we had back in August. I don't want to do that. So my resolution this year is to work on my cleanliness and keep my house a little bit neater. So that's all I've got for that. All right, so I'm going to start off the actual stitching now. 12 minutes of personal crap. That's not bad. I'm usually a big talker, so, and especially because it's been since July since I made a video. Okay, so finishes. I have 2 since I last saw you, and they're pretty big, so I'm kind of proud of that. One of them you have seen, one of them you have not. I'm going to go ahead and show you the one that you have seen first. This is Beach Romance by Janlin. It is a kit. It was my oldest WIP. It was on my Stitch 9 to finish this year, and I did finish it, and I'm very happy because I'm so done with this piece. I did not enjoy stitching it. It's, I don't know, it was unnecessary confetti. It had nothing to do with the kit itself. It felt like unnecessary amounts of confetti and lots and lots and lots of beige. So much beige. So I'm really glad to be done with it. It needs to be washed. I have not washed it yet. I will show you what it looked like before. And then here is what it looked like at the beginning of the year, because I want to do kind of a comparison with my WIP rate of beginning of the year to now. So here's the beginning of the year. And now here is my finish. Super wrinkly, as you can tell. I'm gonna pull it in so you can see it a little bit better. There we go. And I like this little customization down here in the sand. They gave you how to, you know, the alphabet to put in there, so you could put your names in the sand. So there's me and Nick in the sand. It's Kat and Nick. And then, oh, my camera lost focus. There we go. Once in a while, right in the middle of an ordinary life, love gives us a fairy tale. So I started this with the intention of finishing it for, I believe, our 2nd anniversary. I finished it a couple weeks after our 7th. It's fine, it's fine. My husband was really happy that it got finished. So for a long time, it sat with like just this part finished over here. And then I've done most of it this year. It just took a long time to stitch because it had lots of beige, lots of unnecessary confetti. I just wasn't a fan of it. But I like the finished product. All right, next finish is one that you have not seen. This is one that my grandma started. She started with the intentions of giving it to me when she finished it. She started it in 1999. And on the copy of the pattern, she had both the original pattern and her working copy were in with the pattern. She took notes on the top of it of when she started it, when she stopped it. She started in 1999. She took a break from it in 2000. And then the last time it was worked on, I believe, was 2002. So it had not been worked on in 17 years. It's kind of crazy to think about. And again, she couldn't see to stitch, so she passed all of her cross stitch to me about 5 years ago. And in June of this year, there was a prompt to stitch on something from the 90s. And I was like, not only was this pattern, sorry, the 90s or older, not only was this pattern from the 90s, it was started in the 90s. And I thought that was really cool. So here is what it looked like with just my grandma's stitching. And now I have finished it. Oh, come on, focus. There it goes. It wants to focus on my face, not the cats. So I'm gonna hide behind it. Okay, there we go. This is Smoky Mountain Cats. It's art by Sherry Vincent. It was charted by Pegasus Publishing. And again, this is from, I believe this was released in 1994. You can still find it. It has been released by several different publishers. Janlin released it. A couple other people released it. And I found out during Stitcher Games and Semi-Sane Stitchers that the Janlin version is charted the exact same all the way down to the blends and the symbols. They're all the same because somebody else, Darlene, was stitching this and she lost her color chart and she messaged me and was like, can I see yours? And our symbols were the exact same, so it was great. So my grandma's stitching, come on, focus, stop looking at me. My grandma's stitching ended right about right here. So she had it about half finished, and then everything below it is my stitching. So I had an interesting problem where I ended up having to frog out about 1,200 stitches out of this. And boy, it really doesn't like my face if I have my face and my stitching in the same place. In the middle color, the 824, I had a weird dye lot issue, and you can see it in this cat's face because I didn't take him out. But I ran out of that 824 and I could not find any more. And I would have had to combine the two. Hey, looking at my face. Look at the kitties. There we go. Somewhere along in here is where I ran out of the 824. It just really doesn't like focusing on the kitties instead of my face. There we go. So I ended up ripping out all of the 824 in these three cats because they didn't match and I couldn't deal with it. Like, I mean, dramatically different match. Like it was like green compared to blue. It was really, really obvious. So I ended up ripping out all the 824s, about 1,200 stitches, and restitching it in a new skein, brand new skein of 824. So all matched all the way down. So it took me longer than it should have because I spent a lot of time ripping. But it's okay. It is what it is. I just realized I'm missing a WIP. Speaking of ripping things out, I have one that I ripped 3,000 stitches out of because I was tent stitching it. I decided I hated it. I ripped out everything I had. Thankfully it was one color. It was all the blue, or no, it was black. It was all in black. I ripped out like 3,000 stitches of black. And I'm restarting it. And I've put like 2,000 stitches onto it. So not bad. Alright, so there's my two finishes. Those are the only two finishes I've had since July. But again, they're pretty big. It gives me 5 finishes for the year. I do have 2 of my other finishes to remind you what they were. Oh god, one of them's under the tripod. Please don't fall. Okay, it didn't fall. So these are the 2 other finishes that I have. One of them is Have a Nice Poop. As you can tell, it's been folded up in my drawer of shame. Hasn't been washed. And the other one is Behold My Field of Hooks. Lay thine eyes upon it and see that it is barren. This is a Steph X stitch pattern. Don't remember who this pattern is by. Those were finished earlier this year. You guys have seen those already. My 5th finish was Halloweenies. I showed that in my last video as an FFO. That one has been gifted. It went to my sister-in-law. She loved it. She was over the moon. So that was great. Okay. The WIPs. Actually, you know what? I think I should do the WIPs last because they're a WIP parade. It'll be this awesome WIP parade for my all of 12 WIPs. It's fine. I do have some stash acquisitions. Some of them intentional, some of them not. Most of them were for a specific purpose. So I was turned on to Mystic Fabrics. I don't know why I couldn't come up with that. Misty is the one that dyes them. Mystic Fabrics. She hand dyes her fabrics. She has a Facebook group. You can buy her fabrics online or on her website or through the Facebook group. She does like lots. Like she'll post like a bunch of like leftovers, and it's whoever says me please first. So that's where most of these come from. It's funny because I have two pieces that are identical, but because they dyed differently, I can't decide which one I'm going to use. And that is Unipoo, aka Unicorn Poop. And Unipoo is this really lovely, I'll show it in the bag. Ooh, wow, those colors are wrong. Those colors are real wrong. It is not that bright. It's not that bright at all. It is a very faded dye. Yeah, that's coming out way brighter than it is. It's a very faded out dye. It's very subtle colors. Let me see if I get the, sorry, I'm not apologizing. You'll deal with the plastic. Let me hold up the whole piece. That's a little bit better. Yeah, that's a little bit better on the colors. It's like a real muted color. They're not real vibrant. I got this for Garden Prelude, which is the new Mira. My chart buying ban went out the window in about like September. I reduced the number of charts that I bought. I was like, it wasn't like, ooh, buy all the things like it was last year. So I guess it's better. So that is helps if I like don't go down a rabbit trail. Okay, this was 28 count Opalugana. This is 32 count Opalugana. Now I wanted to stitch Garden Prelude on 32 count. That is my preferred fabric. My preferred even weave is 32. But I like the dye on the 28 count better. So here is the 32. And there's a lot more pink in it. A lot more pink and purple in this one. Let's see if you can see it better from the other side, how pink it is. Nope, it is losing all the pink. I promise you there's pink in this. There we go, now you can see it. There's a lot more pink in this fabric. And there's no pink in the piece in Garden Prelude. I am doing a color conversion. I'm converting her dress to purple. So I'm kind of switching. Let me pull her out real quick so you know what the heck I'm talking about. There we go. Garden Prelude. She's the pretty lady playing, it's supposed to be a violin. I play viola. I'm claiming she's playing viola. So I'm switching the teal and the purple. So the dress is going to be purple with 550 as the primary color of it. I still have to work on my conversion. And then the ribbons are going to be teal. And because I'm deleting the background, I do not like the background. I am deleting the background. So all of the arbors with the flowers in it, that actually removes all the beads. All of the beads are in that background, which I think is kind of interesting. All the beads and all the Caroline water lilies are in that floral background. There's no beads in her dress. So what I'm thinking about doing is in the ribbons in her hair, because they will also be teal, I'm thinking about trying to convert some of it to either Krynic or Petite Treasure Braid. Since I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of things like Petite Treasure Braid. So that's what these are for. The 30. I think I am going to do it on this one. Oh, here you can see the pink. You can see it. You can see it there for a second. You can see the pink difference. There's more pink in this one than on this one. So I think I'm going to do it on the 28 count. We'll see. I don't like doing 2 over 2 on 28 count because it's the same size as 14 count Aida, and I do 3 threads over one on 14 count Aida. So I don't know how I'll like the coverage on 28 with 2. We'll see. So there's those 2. That was part of stash acquisitions. It's also part of plans for next year. This is Winter Solstice. This is a 28 count Opalugana. This is a very pretty purple. It's just a very It's actually lavender. It's not showing up correctly. No. There's the color. It says, my phone says, get a little closer. No, I don't want you to focus on my face. I want you to focus on the fabric. So, this is Winter Solstice again. And then, no idea what I'm going to do with this. I don't know. It looks like it should have a mirror on it. We were going through our fabric stash and we realized that most of our fabrics are really vibrant colors. So I've been trying to buy a lot of the more muted colors like this because I'm more likely to stitch on them. If you look at what I actually am stitching on, like my Avalon and Midsummer Night from Under the Sea, they're very kind of less of the vibrant tones. So I've been trying to buy the more muted tones so that I'll actually use some of my fabric stash. This is an unlabeled, it's supposed to be a one-off dye, but you can tell that this was originally a Midsummer Night. It is the same purple. This is a 32 count Lugana, non-opalescent. It's the only non-opalescent I've bought from Misty so far. Here we go. Again, you can tell it is a Midsummer Night. It's the same dye. It's, oh gosh, this color, the color on my phone is terrible. That's pretty close to it. My shirt is purple, so it's like, it's confused. It's washing out my shirt. My shirt is actually lavender. That's what I would call this. It's like somewhere between lavender and periwinkle. It's like a bluey purple. So that is my acquisitions from Misty. If I can get it back in the bag, that would be fantastic. There we go. And then I bought another hank of Silks for You silk. I do not have plans for this. I wish this had been available when I first started Death by Cross Stitch, because if you'll remember, my original plan for Death by Cross Stitch was to do it in a vibrant rainbow thread on black. And I couldn't find a decent price on a rainbow thread because the only thing that was the right vibrance was Bradley's Balloons by Threadworks, and it would have been $80 to get the thread for that. Well, Silks for You has come out with a new dye, and I think I will, when I finish Death by Cross Stitch and I start on Life After Death, I get the feeling this is going to be what I stitch Life After Death in, because it is absolutely gorgeous. Holy cow, look at that. Look at those colors. That's very true. It is really, really vibrant like that. It is very vibrant, and I love this. This is PR 160. It's available on her Etsy. Just search Etsy for Silks, the little number 4 and the letter U. I'll link it. Oh, I didn't think of that. I'll link it, and I'll link Misty's group. Okay, is that my stash? No, I have more. But wait, there's more. Okay, I did some Etsy pattern buying for some new start plans for next year. I was trying to get my WIPs down to 10, but with how many big full coverage pieces I have, I mean, I have 5 Hades and George, so that only leaves me 4. And then I have things like Lady of the Flag, which is not small. My Realist Carousel is not small. Like I have some big stuff. So what I've decided is I'm going to go ahead and let myself start smaller things, because otherwise they're not going to get stitched. So I've got, I believe, 20 new starts planned for next year, and I will finish most of them next year, because I was like, wow, I only have 5 finishes this year. But I also had 9 page finishes on full coverage pieces, so that's kind of been what I've been doing all year. So anyway, so here are the things that I bought. The first one is from Awesome Pattern Studio. This is for a Virtual Stitchers SAL, where we are starting an Awesome Pattern Studio, I believe in April. This is, and my printer like butchered this because it's low on yellow ink. This is Orlando. Stop focusing on my face. Stop it. There we go. That's Orlando. So they have 2 versions of Orlando. Let's see if I can get it to look at it up close. Stop looking at my face. There's 2 versions of Orlando. There's one that is like the city skyline, and then there's this one which is like, obviously it has like the Universal Globe, and it has the Tree of Life, that's Universal Studios entrance, Spaceship Earth, Hulk, Cinderella Castle, and I love that it has the Pulse sign in there. And this is the fountain in the middle of Lake Eola. So for those of you who maybe don't know, I did live in Orlando for just under a year, and I worked at Universal Studios. So I consider Orlando kind of my second home. I go to Disney 4 to 5 times a year. So I visit Orlando a lot. I have a lot of good friends down there. I miss them all very much. I love it when they come visit me. I love going to visit them. So Orlando always will have a special place in my heart. I think eventually I probably will live in Orlando or very close to it again. So there is my Orlando piece. The next one is from Tilton Crafts. This is my first Tilton Crafts. This was posted as a limited edition. I don't remember how many they sold, but I was like, oh, I better buy that. It is the movie poster from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, they did release this as a Philosopher's Stone version as well. So if you are not in the US and you want the Philosopher's Stone version, I believe it is still available. I think this one is gone now. It is a large full coverage piece, 300 by 445. That's very big. Don't know when I'm going to start it. Don't know when I'm going to finish it. I just knew I had to have the pattern. That one fit into my no charts thing because it was, I made an exception for limited editions. So that one I needed to buy. This one was it's been in my Etsy wish list for a while, and I always worry when it's Disney themed whether Disney's gonna make them pull it. So I went ahead and got it. It is the Walt Disney World monorail system. Board at hotels and main entrance, and that is the Contemporary, which is my favorite Disney hotel. That is the, I believe, Mark. Oh God, I can't remember. My brain just went blank. I think that's a Mark II monorail. That's the monorails that originally opened up with Disney. The ones I have now are Mark IV. Gosh, wow. I used to know. I know my monorails really well usually. I'm a big monorail geek. But this is the ones that originally opened in 1971 with the park, was this style of monorail. This is still the style that they use at Disneyland in California, I believe. Disney World now has newer ones. The newer ones were placed in the early 1990s. Are what the ones that they currently use. So the current ones don't look like this. That's why you may be like, it doesn't look like Disney World Tomorrow. That's the original ones. So this is like a vintage poster. Looks like something you would have seen in 1971 when the park opened. And I love it. It's full coverage. The background is stitched. I'm thinking about deleting the background and putting it on. It's supposed to be like, again, my printer's low on yellow ink. Well, toner, it's laser printer. It's out of yellow. So it's supposed to be a cream colored background. It's coming out pink. It's not, it's cream. It's supposed to be like the same color as my wall. So I'm thinking about just deleting the background and putting it on a hand dyed. I've got a buttercup yellow that it would look great on, or I'm going to order probably a bunch of tiramisu from Under the Sea, which is this. It's a beautiful neutral. This is an opalescent. And I want to stitch, I've got the Suhalis Pirate, two pirate ones, the Piracy, a viable career option, and the beatings will continue until morale improves. I want to stitch both those on tiramisu. So I think I'm going to order a bunch of it, and I'll probably put this on the tiramisu also, because it'll be the right color background. And then the reds will pop against it really well, the reds and the whites. Okay, last thing to show you is a gift that my brother-in-law and sister-in-law got me. They get me cross stitch every year for Christmas. They get me big cross stitch every year, so I'm significantly behind. I am starting, I started the one they gave me last year as my New Year start. Don't have a whole lot of progress on it because I've been focusing on other stuff. But I started last year's on New Year's. I'm starting 2017's as part of my New Year New Start, or my new starts for 2020. And then this one will probably go into 2021. This will probably be a start in 2021. Unless I decide I need a Christmas piece. So this is A Treasured Time by Dimensions. And it's a kit. And isn't that gorgeous? I love Dimensions kits. I think they're great. I really do. I think they are beautiful. And they look like a painting when they're finished. And I know this is going to look gorgeous when I finish it and hang it on my wall. I don't usually stitch Christmas things, but I've actually had my eye on this one for a while. For some reason, they know my taste. Like, they got me Aurora Cabin 2 years ago, and that has been on my wish list. It was literally on my Amazon wish list, and they didn't know that. So again, every time I see this one, I'm like, oh, I think I'd like to stitch that. So they got that for me, and that's fantastic. All right, so that's all my new stuff. And all right, it's WIP parade time. So I'm gonna go get the piece that I'm missing. I know that wasn't long for you because I'm going to edit it out, but I'm back with my piece that I was missing. So I have all of my WIPs right here. All right, so the first one I'm going to show you is the one that I am focusing on to finish right now. My roommate told me I have to finish this at Stitch Away. Stitch Away is in 2.5 weeks. And I don't know if I'm going to get that done then, but we're going to see. That is Lady of the Flag. Here she is. So since you last saw her, all of this has been done, and all of this has been done. Here's what she looked like before. And here she is now. So I discovered an interesting conundrum with her when I got down to here. Can you see that this is the edge of the fabric right here? Sticking through the split rod on my scroll frame. I off-centered her by accident. She's not gonna fit. I discovered it here, that she's not gonna fit. But I have an edit that I can make that will make me happy, and she will fit. I'm deleting the Liberty banner off the bottom. You know where it says Liberty right here in the white, blue and white banner? I've never liked that, so I'm deleting it. And then the bottom of her skirt is right here now. So it'll kind of curve right through here, and I have enough room. I am going to have to make some edits to this side of the pattern, just because her like drapes on her skirt hang a little over on that side. So I'm going to have to shorten them to make sure they look right. But other than that, I've already done some edits on this side and I cannot tell. So I'm real happy with it. Her skirt comes to a very natural end above the banner. So it's just this tiny little piece over here that I'm going to have to do significant editing to. But she's going to be a finish soon. All of the beading is done in this part of her skirt. Ugh, it does not like to stay focused. All of the beading's done here. I've still got to do the beading in here and all through here. And then the entire bottom of her skirt's beads. So, like I said, I don't know that I'm going to finish her at Stitch Away. We're going to see. Deborah's like, I want you to finish it. And you can ring the bell. It'd be cool, but I don't know that it's going to happen just because I have a lot left. So there's Lady of the Flag. I've got to stack my scroll frames here. This is the project bag that she's in. You can hear her beads rattling around. All right, next thing. I'm going to save my hates for last. Next thing is going to be Tiny Modernist Haunted Mansion Sal. Here's what it looked like before. And if I can get it out of this bag, I'm going to pull it off the top of the T-snap because the top is finished. I'm pretty sure it was Michelle Bendy that turned her sideways on the fabric. How did I do the exact same stupid thing when I checked it 5 different times? I still put it sideways on the fabric. The good news is I cut my fabric big enough that it still fit. But it is finished all the way up to the top. Everything above here is completely done. It's all backstitched and everything. The ghost is made with glow-in-the-dark Kreinik. It was a pain in the butt. I don't ever want to stitch glow-in-the-dark Kreinik after this piece. I hated stitching that. And I was stitching the ghost on a plane. That made it even worse. So, anyway. There's another ghost that goes in here. I'm doing all the ghosts in glow-in-the-dark Kreinik. All the skeletons will be in glow-in-the-dark DMC. I think this is going to be on my finish list for next year. There's really no reason for it not to be. It's only got 3 rooms left. And then the stuff on the sides, I think I can do that. I think I can finish that next year. What did I do with my Q-snap? There we go. I used this for a lot of stitching prompts this year because there's so much in it. And it just made it very convenient for a lot of prompts. I am not in medical stitches anymore. Drama. I will talk about my group later. I did start a new stitching group. Most of you probably know about it. If you don't know about it, it is called Enchanted Stitching Challenges. It's Disney themed. Wow, big surprise, right? As I'm sitting here wearing a Frozen shirt. By the way, it's the first time I've ever found a shirt with Anna on it that fits me. Makes me really happy because I love Anna. She's my girl. All right, next piece is going to be Hogwarts Crest. Last time you saw it, it was here. I have not done much on it. Not at all. This should be a finish next year. It really should have been a finish this year. I'm just, I don't know. There it is. So I added all of the gold up here. It's not focusing on me. There we go. Added all the gold up here since he lost it. And we were just talking about this piece. It is Rayola's Carousel. It is a double-decker carousel. Oops. Oh, lost it there. This is what it will look like when it's finished. I think it's really pretty. Stop focusing on my face. Stop it. Me and this camera are gonna have words. So there's what it will look like. And I actually have worked more on this piece in the last week than like all year. So there's what I've got. I can't tell if it's focused because I can't see it. Here we go. I put in the entire sandcastle. Like all of the stitching on the sandcastle has been done in the last couple days. Because I started stitching this in, I started the year stitching this, ending the year stitching it. It works. Okay, next is Death by Cross Stitch, which has thread stuck to it. Let me pull the thread off. Significant progress on this since you guys last saw it. Last time you saw it looked like this. And now there's a unicorn on it. Ta-da! Well, you can see the colors. Oh, I moved and they went away. Come on, camera. We're gonna have words. I can tell. I want my video camera back. Focus. Dang it. There it goes. There it goes. Now you can see it. Okay. So there's the unicorn. And I'm starting on the diagonal here, and I've got this flower finished. So that whole corner is done. I did my variegation diagonally. I had not seen anybody else do it that way, and since I posted it in the Death by Cross Stitch group, I've seen 2 other people do it that way. I just think it looks really cool. I'm enjoying playing with the variegation. So like this one's diagonal, and this one's horizontal, and then these I'm actually stitching them in the arrow shapes so that the variegation is in the arrow shapes. So I'm having fun playing with the variegation of the silk on that one. That's not going to be finished anytime soon. It's not a focus or anything. It's just a when I need mindless stitching. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. I'm down to all my full coverages now. I'm going to pull out George first. My chatelaine, that's what's missing. I haven't touched my chatelaine in a while. It's not even on Scroll Course, so I'm not gonna worry about showing it to you. I will show you what my chatelaine looked like last time I stitched on it. This is what my chatelaine, I'm working on Polar Mandala by Chatelaine. This is what it looked like last time I stitched on it. Obviously it hasn't changed since then because that was the last time I stitched on it. This is my panel for the Stitching George Washington project. For those of you who are not familiar, it will be the world's largest cross stitch when it is finished. It is the picture of the big painting of George Washington crossing the Delaware, kind of a famous painting in the U.S. For those who aren't in the U.S., it was a big deal because during the Revolutionary War, George Washington gathered his troops and crossed the frozen Delaware River in the middle of the night on Christmas and surprised a British encampment. It was the first victory of the Revolutionary War and helped turn the tide of the Revolutionary War so that we could become an independent country. So this is 112 American stitchers are stitching on this. I have panel number 63. My panel is almost all water, so it is a lot of greens and browns because it's kind of muddy, dirty water. And I have finished 12 pages. I did finish the entire top row since the last time you saw it. I believe I was on page 6 last time you saw it, so I've made significant progress. Again, I've had 9 page finishes on full coverage this year. So here is George. There he is. No, be focused. Be focused. Here we go. This is the only not water. This is the edge of a little piece of ice. And that is the only not water in my entire panel. That's okay though. Because once I get, this is all like super confetti, and then I get over here and I'm like, because it's all like 4 colors. So it moves really fast when I get, it took me forever to do these 2 pages, and then I'll just like fly through these probably. So my goal for next year is obviously to finish this row. I would like to finish a 2nd row next year, but we shall see. I should have my 4th row finished by February. It's fine. They've already said that the deadline is not a hard deadline because they know that pretty much everybody's behind. We've had a couple of stitchers have to leave. We did have a stitcher pass away, which is very sad to hear. That's what happens when you have a big project like this, and it's a this is going to be probably a decade-long project. So there's been a lot of illnesses. There's been somebody lost their house in a wildfire. It's been, we've all been through it as a group. I love the group of stitchers. We have a Facebook group for those of us stitching on it, and I love the supportiveness of that group. I love going in there and posting my progress, and as soon as you post a picture, everybody's going, wow, looks amazing, your progress is awesome. You know, they're very supportive, and I love that about that group. It makes the project feel more like a family. And once the project is finished, I hope we, like, whenever we finish it and it's all put together and we present it as a piece, I'm hoping that I get to meet a lot of the other stitchers. So that would be a lot of fun. All right, now it's on to the Hades. All my heaven and earth. I got 5 of them. So I have 13 WIPs. I thought I had 12. I have 13. Because I keep forgetting about my chatelaine because it's not on scroll frame. So it's not an active WIP right now. I really need to get my brother to make me more sidebars so that my chatelaine can go on these. I don't know. I may see if I can take apart another scroll frame. One of my smaller scroll frames. Since I've finished 2 things that were on scroll frames. Who knows? Alright, so this is Evolutions. Artwork by Walking Melons. This is what it will look like. This is my floss box. Oh, I hope you're focused. Yeah, you are. That's my floss box with my absolutely gorgeous colors. Oh my god, I love these floss boxes. This is the one that I ripped out 3,000 stitches. And I have put back in. Hang on, I have to do that FlossTube thing where you put something up behind your stitching so you can actually see. There we go. That is all at 9.39. I was doing this 2/1 tent stitch. I explained in my last video about how I don't like tent stitch. I have come to realize this. And I realized I was not working on this project because I hated working on it. I'm too far in my other project to start over again. Also, you can see, maybe, I don't know how well it's going to focus on, how well you're going to be able to see it. But I did damage the fabric a little bit there. I've got one little spot right here where I have pulled one of the weaves, one of the thread weaves out. I don't know how I'm going to fix that. I really don't. I may weave another thread into it. I don't know. I have no idea how I'm going to fix that. But when you frog out that much, I really should have just shifted the whole thing over by a little bit. I have enough room. But I didn't know I was going to damage it. I started restitching it before I had everything pulled out. I didn't know I was going to damage the fabric before I started restitching it. But I was never going to work on, I was never going to finish it. I was never going to work on it if I didn't change how I was stitching it. So I changed to 1/1 full cross. This is 28 count Navy Lugana. I have finally admitted that I'm 34 years old and my eyes are no longer 20 years old. And I had to get magnifiers for this piece because I couldn't see the stitch the daggone thing at work. So they're just Walmart reader glasses because I don't like having like a magnifier over. So I just bought reading glasses. Okay, I'm running out of table space. Actually, I can put my scroll frames back in my bag. 1 second. Sorry, I'm running out of table space, so I have to make a quick rearrangement. Okay, get back. Get in there. All right, they're in enough. Okay. And now my other one is another one that's on Navy Lugana because I went on this like Navy Lugana kick I don't know. It's just a thing that I did. This is also on 28 count navy Lugana. I actually think I cut it from the same piece. This is Mini Cries of the Night. This is the one that I am tent stitching. I hate tent stitching, but it is what it is. This is what it will look like. This is what it looked last time you saw it. And here it is now. I've got moon. Focus. Focus. There we go. I have moon. I'm in the moon. See if I can get it focused up close. Yeah, look at that. Oh, it's like crystal clear. Why can't you focus like this all the time? You can see every single cat hair in it. There is a lot of Kreinik in it. A lot of that white is Kreinik white. I think it's 032 Pearl. So, but yeah, there it is. I wanted to get a page finish on that this year. It's not going to happen. Just because I don't like looking on it. I'm really close, though. Like, I'm just going to flash the pattern so you can see how much is highlighted. Boop. Yep. I'm really close to a page finish. Next year. Alright. Last two are on big scroll frames. Oh, my nose itches. My allergies are perpetually awful. This is Magellanic Cloud. This is my first hate that I ever started. Here's what it looked like before. I had just put it back on. I'm sorry, I hate touching my nose on a video, but it itches. I had just put it back on the scroll frame last time you saw it. I had taken my shadow line off specifically to work on this one. I am now like 20 stitches from a page finish on the first page and a couple hundred stitches from a second page finish. I am going to make that one page finish so that I will have 10 page finishes this year. I am going to make that one page finish tonight. And then I'll do the next page next year. So here is Magellanic Cloud. Where'd my thing go? There we go. Maybe. There we go. There it is. So as you can see, it's this top page right here is almost finished. It's got like just a couple stitches missing here and there. Just a couple. And then just this section here to finish the second page. This page is finished. This is completely finished. This was a Haid challenge last year for 2018. I did this page. That is the only page finish I have on this piece. And last but not least, my Haid with the most progress, Wisdom. This is artwork by Sherry Gayhart. Oh, I forgot to mention that Small Magellanic Cloud. That is a NASA image that was charted. I've collected like all of their NASA images. It's kind of ridiculous. I have spilled something on this piece. It makes me angry. I don't want to wash it because then the colors will be too different. I'm worried about fading what's already stitched and not matching what I stitch in the future. Okay. This is Wisdom, artwork by Sherry Gayhart. I have a thread that needs tied off back here. That's interesting. Things you notice. I haven't worked on this for a few weeks. For a few months, actually. Last time you saw it, it looked like this. I had done just a little bit more stitching since Stitch Away. I have since finished filling in what I wanted to fill in. Here it is now. There's where I spilled something on it. I have now put a grind guard on it, on the bottom, because my fabric was discoloring where my hand rests on it, because I two-handed stitched this, and I tend to rest my hand about like that, and so it was discoloring right in here. I did fill in right here. I have filled in a little more up here, and as you can see, there's actually starting to be feathers happening there. So there's Wisdom. That is all of my WIPs. 12 active WIPs plus 1 non-active WIP is 13. And 20 new starts next year. Gotta double my WIPs. Alright, so let's talk about new starts. Here are my plans for 2020. I have them all in a bag over here. They're mostly in order. I already showed you Garden Prelude, and I talked about the color conversion I'm doing on her. My New Year, New Start. This is Semi-Sane Stitcher's fault. Semi-Sane Stitchers is doing Once Upon a Fairy Tale. It is not the Hade Once Upon a Fairy Tale, which I'm not stitching. I'm not in love with it. Sorry for everybody that's been trying to get me to stitch it. It is, you were supposed to pick a piece that represents a specific fairy tale, not like overall amounts of fairy tales, and your goal is to finish it in 6 months, and it had to be at least 15,000 stitches. So this is, they approved all Donna stitch patterns for Disney because they're a specific fairy tale. So this is going to be Donna Stitch Frozen. There we go. And I am doing this charting of it. There's 2 chartings of it. There's one with Anna facing Kristoff and one with Anna facing Elsa. And I'm stitching this version of it with Anna facing Elsa. I'm going to be replacing the white in the snowflakes. There's a lot of B52. Well, I'm replacing all of the white with B5200. And then there's a lot of white in these snowflakes that I'm going to be replacing with white Petite Treasure Braid, the pearl version of it. And it is going to be on this, which is 32 count opalescent. You can kind of see, there we go. You can see the shimmer in it. 32 count Belfast linen, opalescent white. I already have all the threads bobbinated. It is ready to go. This is my New Year, New Start. I cannot wait to start it. I do work on the night of New Year's Eve. I do not start working until 3 a.m. I normally start at 11 p.m. But we're having like this big New Year's party in our banquet hall, and I don't start working until after it ends because there's like 16 people going to be working this, and they're like, we'll cover the desk. And that way I can go drive for Uber because I'll make a lot more money driving for Uber. Anyway, so that's kitted, ready to go. I have a list. I have a flip to it. This is my list of new starts. So, Frozen. All right, next one. Alto Together Now. I showed this on a couple videos ago. It is apparently still in this bag for some reason. It needs to go in my new start bag. 1 second. Oh. I have various stitching bags in case you haven't picked them out. The one that my WIPs go in, I will show you actually because my sister-in-law made it, and I get a lot of people who ask me about it because it's Ohio State. It's Ohio State on the outside and music on the inside. Does she know me or what? So I am a musician, for those who missed that fact before. I play viola. And speaking of playing viola, this is the Alto Clef by Ink Circles. It's called All Together Now. There it is. I am changing the colors. I do not like the green. The color of the viola is purple. Why is it not charted in purple? So I am stitching this. This is going to be on 28 count Opal Lugana Sugar Plum Fairy Opalescent. And I obviously don't need this big of a piece, but this is a Under the Sea. I just got to figure out which part. I think I'm going to do it on this part up here. And the colors that I chose for it, I am doing the main, so the main part of the clef right here that's in green is going to be in Witch's Socks. This is Color and Cotton. And then the lighter green here is going to be Calliope, also Color and Cotton. Sorry, no, the flowers. It's these little flowers. I think I'm doing in Calliope. No, it is the lighter green I'm doing in Calliope. And then the flowers I am doing in Morris Blue by Weeks Dye Works. And then all of the little kind of accents like over here, it's supposed to be, is that one supposed to be cinnamon? Yeah, it's supposed to be cinnamon toast. In Crescent colors. And that is going to be, it's just titled Limited Edition. By Color and Cotton. So those are the colors. Those are the colors it's going to be in. Purples and teals. So you can see how that will look. Whoops. You can see how that will look on here. I think it'll look fantastic. So that is new start number 2. And again, I'll explain it again for those who didn't see the last time I pulled this out. This is an alto clef. It is the clef that the viola plays in, and only the viola plays in. And so we kind of use the alto clef as the like symbol of the viola. I know a lot of people have alto clef tattoos. I am eventually going to get one. So that represents my 24 years and counting of playing viola. I do play in a local symphony, Miami Valley Symphony. I haven't played with them for the last 2 concerts, and I'll explain why in a little bit. Okay, next one, astronauts. So the astronauts, this is an Etsy pattern. I have to find the front page of it. Where the heck are you? There we go. This is by Helena Kovalchuk, and the Etsy shop is Cross Stitch for You. I will link it below. It's called Astronauts and Planets. Just some little astronauts. Ooh. Focus. Focus, focus, focus. There it goes. Why does it hate me? Can I poke my phone to make it focus? No, of course not. There we go. Just some astronauts holding some balloons to give to a friend down there. I think that's supposed to be a kid. My husband teaches aerospace science. He loves this pattern. He thinks it's adorable. I think it's adorable. And it's going to go to him at work at some point. I had originally intended to stitch this on Navy Lugana. I have since seen this stitched on Mystic Fabrics Galaxy, and I fell in love with it. So I'm going to be stitching this on Galaxy, which I need to order still. So I do not have fabric for that. Can't start it yet. What is this? Random piece of fabric. Oh shoot, you fell out. No? What the heck is this for? Oh, I know what this is for. I know what this is for. Okay. I made a disastrous mess. This is my life. Piracy. Piracy, a viable career option. Again, for my husband, he's a teacher. He's a high school teacher. They will love this. It's going to go on his desk. I need to order, this is one of the ones I need to order tiramisu for. So I don't have fabric for it. Orlando, I already showed you. Stretch room portraits. These are by Good Morning Maui. I don't like how hard it is to get things to focus on my phone. Come on. Focus on them. There we go. Maybe. Well, you guys have seen these. A lot of people have stitched these. I have no idea what fabric I'm going to do them on. I think I'm going to find like a nice gray. I think gray would look good. In fact, I think I might have a nice gray coming. I have a misty fabric coming that's gray. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's number 6. Number 7 is Garden Prelude. I've already talked to you about that one. Harry Potter Specialty Sampler. Don't have a picture of it. I don't think. Nope, I don't. I will have to link it below. They don't have a preview picture of it really on Etsy. It is all specialty stitches. I believe it was Cindy, Sneezy Stitcher, that either finished it. I'm pretty sure she finished it. And I saw it at StitchCon last year. And I like it. I like it a lot. I would really like to practice on some specialty stitches. The heck is my phone doing? I don't even know. I'd like to practice some specialty stitches before, can I turn off my autofocus lock? Oh, whoa, don't fall, please. There we go. Before I get into them on my chatelaine and start doing them in like, you know, expensive silks and things like that. So it's the entire thing is, it's, based off of book 1, and the entire thing is almost all specialty stitches. I have not picked fabric for it, but one of the virtual stitch alongs is a sampler. I'm going to start that in September for that. So So I have until September to pick fabric for it. Not that big a deal. And then the next one, this is what am I up to? 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 9 is Black Cats and Pumpkins. This is by Little Dove Designs. Again, with a lack of focus. Hey, there it goes. And it says, when black cats prowl and pumpkins gleam, may luck be yours on Halloween. And it is stitched on a navy Lugana. I am switching that out for Under the Sea Witching Hour, which is beautiful dark purple. I am probably going to have to change a couple of the colors. We'll see. Actually, it looks like I may not. I may not. I don't know. Because like the blue is supposed to fade. This focus is an issue. It's a serious issue. There we go. So the blue is supposed to fade around these things. So I may have to change that to a purple. We don't know. We'll see. All right, Halloween treats. This is a Sue Hillis. Cute little Halloween piece. It says, the night is dark and ghosties are out. Witches and black cats are prowling about. Costume creatures, the strangest I've seen, are knocking on doors because tonight's Halloween. And it's got a little skeleton ghosty. I am changing the neutral fabric to also Witching Hour. Nice dark purple. And I picked a brighter, I believe. What's it called for? It calls for Dark Apricot, 720. I picked out Carrot by Gentle Arts. It's a nice, bright, vibrant orange. Shows up great on this fabric. So, all right. Stitcherovia Nightlights. This is a printout from a magazine, so it's kind of awkward. There we go. It's the Aurora Borealis. I'm going to be stitching that on this piece of 32 count black linen. It's just plain old black linen. Let's see. You Rescued Me by Mill Hill. Hi, Hunter. Hi, please don't knock things down. Hi, baby. What? He's talking to me. This is by Mill Hill. It says, our hearts are forever connected. You see, I adopted you, but you rescued me. And if I can get it to focus, kind of, you can see that it's a white doggy with pointy ears laying on her lap. And it makes me think of my Heidi girl. It's even got a red collar. My Heidi girl had a red collar. Oh! Hi, Hunter. Incoming. Hi. This is Hunter. My little tiny kitten. He's not little tiny anymore, but he's so cute. He got a cute little face. Yes. Look how big he is. He's like an actual cat now. Oh, where are we going? Ow. No, we're not playing this game. Goodbye. Ow. Pointy paws. I got a whole bunch of Mill Hills up next. Crystal Snowflake. It's a buttons and beads. Rubber Ducky. Gotta find it. It has become lost in the abyss. Who knows? I don't know where Rubber Ducky went. I really don't know what happened to this pattern. Or this kit, I should say. It was in this bag. There it is. Rubber Ducky by Mill Hill. And Pizza Slice by Mill Hill. Again, these are all going to be things that I finish, because it only takes me like 3 days to finish. Oh, I had another finish. I finished a Mill Hill ornament. I walked around it. And Christmas Lights by Mill Hill. And then these are 3 small kits that I got at Hobby Lobby years ago by Design Works. They are Joan Elliott designs. And I have the book that has like 5 of them, but they only kitted 3 for some reason, so I haven't decided if I'm going to do the 4th and 5th one. So here is Imagine. Imagine has a unicorn. Dream with butterflies. And Believe with, what are those? Fairies. And then there's also Faith and Hope. I'm not a religious person, so I probably won't do Faith, but I might do Hope. We shall see. But they come with the beads. They're actual full kits. Probably, I'm looking at this and thinking I'm probably going to replace that Ada. It's 14 count Ada. I'm probably going to replace that with like a 32 count even weave. Just so that it looks nicer because it's got so much background showing. Or so much not stitched. And then last but not least, Aurora Cabin. By Dimensions. This is Gold Collection Dimensions. This was a gift from my brother-in-law and sister-in-law 2 years ago. 2 Christmases ago. So that's going to be my biggest new start. Because I'm intending to finish my Donna Stitch. That is all of my new starts. That's my plans for 2020. Let me find that little Mill Hill ornament. It should be in here. I actually have no idea what I did with it. Did I toss it in one of these bags? I may have tossed it in one of these bags. Because I was worried about the perforated paper getting damaged. But I don't honestly have any idea what I did with it. Oh wait, it might be in here. Let me check this one. If it's not in here, I don't know where it is, and I will just have to tell you about it, but I'm gonna check this one real quick. Because I honestly completely forgot that I'd finished this silly thing. Yeah, it's not in here. Okay. It is the Love Stitching ornament. It's a little heart with stitching notions and things on it. And it's really cute. It'd be nice if I knew what happened to it. It was originally intended to be for the Smalls Exchange at StitchCon last year. I did not get it finished in time. I have decided that I'm not doing the Smalls Exchange next year. People went kind of over the top this year, and I just can't afford to go over the top. And I don't have the same, I don't have the same style. I don't like the same stuff that most people stitch. I don't like primitive at all. I don't like a lot of the stuff that's really popular right now. So, kind of makes me hesitant to enter a Smalls Exchange just because I know that most people do stitch in a style that I don't prefer. And it's like, I mean, I appreciate the effort that everybody puts into things, but it's not something I would display in my house. So I'm probably not going to do the Smalls Exchange this year. We'll see. I have something stitched for it if I decide to do it. We'll see. I'm probably not going to go all out and put it in our project bag with scissors and all this other stuff because I can't afford to do that, y'all. I just can't. I spend my money on stash. So that is everything, I believe. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. There's nothing else written on my page over here. I've shown you all my WIPs. I've shown you what I'm doing for next year. I will hopefully be back in January. Hopefully I will have found my camera because this focus thing with my phone is killing me. We'll see how easy it is to edit. That might be the deciding factor on whether I continue using my phone or not. The color shifting is driving me crazy too. The fact the colors are constantly changing. And I can't get it to show true color on anything. So, that's it for me. Before I go, I did say I would talk about Enchanted Stitching. It is a Facebook group that I started with my roommate. We now have 3 other admins as well. It is all Disney themed. Every month we pick a new movie. Next month will be Peter Pan. This month was the Santa Claus. We are trying to pick all movies that are streamable on Disney Plus. We understand that Disney Plus is not available in the UK because Disney is being stupid. But eventually it will be. We're trying to pick movies that are easy to get to right now. You can still get to Peter Pan in several other different ways. So, but we have weekly challenges based on the movies. We have monthly challenges that are longer and more difficult. We do have everything split out into 4 teams that represent the 4 theme parks of Walt Disney World. So Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. You don't have to join a team. It's just that you earn points for your team. And then we have like ongoing, what we call Fairy Godmother Ultimate Challenges. I think they're Fairy Godmother Extreme Challenges. I don't remember how I'm titled. That are the number of minutes in various TV and movie series by Disney. So like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Disney Princesses, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, things like that. The number of minutes in each of those franchises is the number of stitches that you do to earn the certificate for that particular series. Next year, starting in 2 days, crap, I've got to finish it. I've only got 3 or 4 finished. We're doing Stitch Around the Parks, which is, I mapped out the number of feet from one attraction to another to visit every single attraction and show in in each one of the 4 theme parks. And then added in like special numbers for some of the attractions to get to the point where each park is roughly 30,000 stitches to finish. Those are an extra challenge on top of the weekly challenges. You can't double dip those stitches, but there will be a drawing at the end of 2020 for actual like a prize basket, and every park that you complete will be 1 entry into that drawing. Those will be available to start on January 1st. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. My nose itches like crazy because Hunter rubbed all over it. Sammy J Stitches made a fantastic tracking spreadsheet that you can put into a planner. Those will be posted along with the events. If you would like to join Enchanted Stitching, just search Enchanted Stitching Challenges on Facebook. When you request to join, there are 3 questions that must be answered. Please make sure that you answer them. We don't accept you if you don't answer them. If you invite anyone to the group, please make sure that they know they need to answer the questions, because it won't automatically pop it up unless they go to the group. So it'll just say, oh, you've been added to this group. You have to actually like request to join it, and then it'll pop up the questions. So if you invite any of your friends to the group, please make sure to let them know that there are questions that need to be answered so that we can add them to the group. And that's just to cut down on fake accounts or non-stitchers joining, because a lot of people see Disney and go, oh, I want to join that. Well, you don't cross-stitch, so why are you joining? We do things a little bit differently than a lot of the challenge groups in that we have difficulty tiers. You can pick your own difficulty each week. We have what's called the Royal tier, which is the hardest tier, which is 250 stitches on each prompt. And then the Night tier is 50 stitches on each prompt. And then the Noble tier is 30 minutes. So if you don't want to count your stitches, we do have an option for that. Next year, we are looking at making timed stitching an option for all 3 tiers, so that it's more accessible to people who don't count stitches to be able to earn all of the challenges. We are going to be putting up some Google surveys to get some feedback from people on where we want to go with the group in the future. We do already have a movie picked out for February, but I believe in March we're going to start kind of polling the group for where to go with each movie. So if you do join the group and you have any ideas, please speak up. The Stitch Around the Parks was an idea given to us by members. The monthly challenges were ideas given to us by members. The adding the time stitching to the tiers was an idea given to us by members. So we do hear suggestions. We do take them into consideration. There are a couple things that I'm very firm about. We will never do penalty stitches. I don't believe in penalty stitches because they're a pain in the butt. As far as like if we have a pattern, if we have a prompt that says stitch on something Christmas themed, I used George Washington for that because it took place on Christmas. I could have used Realist Carousel because I was given it as a Christmas gift. We are extremely, extremely forgiving. Like, come up with the most creative thing you can come up with to make a connection. We'll be like, good job. So I think one of the more creative things that I saw, I was reading some of the responses last week. One of the prompts was stitch on something that has an object you can drink hot chocolate from. And man, some of those answers were great. So my favorite one was a boot. Because her reasoning was you could drink beer from a boot, and I'm from Cincinnati. We drink beer from boots because German heritage. And so if you can drink beer from a boot, you could drink hot chocolate from a boot. You're not wrong. I saw, let's see, cauldrons, flower pots. Lots of people stitching on things with mugs. Never knew there were so many mugs. There's a lot of things with alcohol. There's beer bottles. There's martini glasses. There was a flask, like a wine glass. A lot of stuff with alcohol. One of the more creative ones that I saw, there was somebody who said you can drink it from your hand. Well, you're not wrong. It might burn you, but you could drink it from your hands. So there was a person with a hand. But I think the most creative one I saw was a bell, because you could turn the bell upside down to drink out of it. I was like, oh, that's great. So we always say, you know, just be creative. We will never tell you no, ever. We will never say, oh, that's too much of a stretch. We'd be like, oh man, that's awesome. Great job. Great connection. Good job on that one. So we don't ever require approvals or anything like that. And I always tell people, the people who ask, well, can I do penalty stitches? I don't have a WIP that fits this. I always tell people, ask a small child. If you don't have a small child handy to ask, just ask the group. I am amazed at the things some people can come up with to connect stuff. Like, it's great. So if you are worried about not being able to participate in all the challenges because you're a single, like a monogamous stitcher, you only have a couple projects, don't be. If you don't know how to make it fit, just ask the group or ask a small child. Be like, hey, how do you make this fit Christmas? And they'd be like, oh, well, there's a tree in the background and you can make a Christmas tree out of it. Okay, cool. Like, we're super forgiving. I mean, if you can make an explanation and tell us a good story, good job. They're fake points for a fake competition, people. Why wouldn't we be okay with anything you can come up with? Hi, Hunter's back. He's so chatty. Oscar's asleep in the window. But Hunter is extremely talkative. He just walks around talking to everyone and everything and himself. And it's really cute. Anyway, I'm now at an hour and 20 minutes. My poor phone. I just put a brand new memory card in it. That's the only reason that I can run a video this long. So I'm going to go ahead and call that the end. I will try to remember to link everything in the description, all of the Etsy shops for everything that I've shown. I will try to put a link up for Misty's group and for Enchanted Stitching. Feel free to add me on Instagram. I generally don't accept Facebook friend requests from people I don't know. I've accepted a lot of stitchers lately, but only stitchers that I actually know and have met or discussed things with. So if you're a stitcher and you don't actually know me, please don't add me on Facebook. I probably will not accept it. But you are free to follow me on Instagram. My stitching Instagram is Cross Stitch Chaos, the exact same as my channel name. I also do have a non-stitching Instagram. It is chasing.thrills. And that is mostly my travel. I'm big into amusement parks. If you're new here, my husband and I travel the world, literally travel the world to ride roller coasters. I've ridden 415 in 3 different countries, and I'm a Disney World annual pass holder, even though I live in Ohio. I have season passes to like 6 different parks. Yeah, it's crazy. So my Chasing Thrills account is mostly my travel and amusement parks and pictures of roller coasters, if that interests you. Feel free to follow me on either Instagram. Neither one of them are private or anything. Just add me. And I hope to see you guys in Enchanted Stitching. I think the Stitch Around the Parks event is going to be a lot of fun and be... hopefully it will inspire a lot of people to get a lot of stitches in, because if you complete all 4 parks, that's 120,000 stitches. That's crazy. I will be super impressed if anybody completes all 4 parks. Like, I think you should get it. I think I'm going to give people, if you complete all 4 parks, that's going to be a bonus entry into the drawing, because that's insane. You deserve something special. Okay. I'm going to call that a wrap. I actually need to get to bed because it is now 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I have to work tonight at 11. So I will see you guys hopefully next month with some progress on Frozen. Let's see how Lady of the Flag looks. I don't know that I'm going to have any finishes between now and then, but hopefully I will touch all of my WIPs again. As you can see, I worked on every single one of them at some point since my last video. Helps that my last video was in July. So have fun. Happy stitching. See you guys later.